Hey guys, welcome back. Today we'll be learning a new AI automation workflow that allows us to automate custom AI emails with Flux AI to supercharge your email outreach with AI-driven personalization. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So before we get started, just to share a bit about myself, my name is Cal from Dynamic AI, and my goal is to explore and share practical AI automation use cases and workflows we can build today to get ahead in the AI race. So what we're going to build today, right? Today we're going to use a model called Flux LoRa to train and create your own AI model. As you can see from here, I've managed to train the AI model to create customized AI outreach images of myself, personalized to my outreach prospects. And this could create a very customized and personalized way of outreaching to them. So how does this AI workflow work? Firstly, we're going to create an AI model using 10 to 15 images of ourselves. As you can see from the previous slide, we will train our own Flux AI model on Replicate to create customized images of ourselves. Secondly, we'll create a simple and powerful Chrome extension to script information about our prospects from their web page. And last but not least, we'll build an AI automation on Make that creates personalized emails with images from Flux approved and ready to send via our emails. So in this case, we will be able to automate thousands of personalized emails that stands out from the crowd and let you reach your potential clients at ease. And so how can you leverage this workflow, right? Firstly, if you're watching this video, I believe you fall into one of these two categories, one as a business owner and a creator, right? And if you fall into this category, you will be able to create unique personalized email outreach with AI images to increase open rate and stand out from the crowd. However, if you fall into the other category as an AI enthusiast or an agency, you could also build these workflows for businesses and creators. You could also use this to create an automated sales outreach business. So the sky is really the limit here, and this workflow is just the base to all of it. And so without further ado, let's get into our first step to train our AI model on Replicate. So in the span of time, I've actually created a previous video that teaches us how to train our own AI model on Flux. Do watch that first. And today's workflow is really for us to learn how to leverage Flux to be used for other use cases like personalized email outreach. So before you continue with this video, do check out my previous video to learn how to create your own AI selfie model on Flux. And once you're done with that, you can continue with the rest of the workflow. So just to run through, if you're done with the previous step, you should be creating your model using the AI Toolkit by Luca Taco on replicate.com, right? Once that is done, you should also have your own AI model over here in Hugging Face that we will be using later on. And once you reach this step, you're definitely able to create many different types of AI images of yourself using Flux AI. So now that we have this, we're going to go into our next step, which is creating our extension. So I do have all my resources in the link in the description below. So do check them out and download them in the link in the description below. Alright, and once you're done, you should be seeing a folder that I've created, which is the data sender extension, right? That allows us to scrape information from any of our prospect web pages and send it over to the Make platform automatically. So I'm going to run through how this works by creating in real time. So moving into Make, the first thing we want to do is to create a new scenario. We're going to call this Flux Email Generator 1 out of 2. Alright, so we're going to create a custom webhook, okay? And we're going to add in a new one, and we're going to call this Flux Email Generator webhook. Save. So this webhook is for us to use as a key point to get information from the internet from our extension later on. So what we're going to do is copy this webhook address, and we're going to go back to our folder here, and very quickly we're just going to open the background.js file with a text edit, and from here we're just going to change the webhook link to the one that we have currently copied. Okay, once that's done, we're just going to save this and close, and that's all we got to do. The next thing we're going to do is to open up our extensions, manage extensions, make sure developer mode is on, and from here we're going to load unpack. We're going to find our extension file, the data sender, right? And we're just going to select it and upload it. Okay, once we have this, right, we're just going to click details. I'm going to pin it to toolbar so it's easy for us to see later on. And so how does this work, right? Now with this data sender, once we click it, we will be able to send the prospect's information to our Make platform. And what we want to get is firstly the URL of our prospects to get information of their company and their email so that we can send a personalized outreach to them later on, right? So for example, let's say we're in the construction industry, right? And I'm just going to search a random construction company. And so let's say we have this company, Proof Tech, okay? And we want to reach out to them, right? So firstly, what I'll do is to look for the email. I'm just going to copy the email over here. I'm going to click the extension that I've created early on to send the URL to the webhook. Right, so once I click this, it would say business info is successfully sent, and this means that information have been sent to our Make webhook. And so let's check it out. We're gonna click run once, and here we go. You can see we do have the URL link sent over. We also have the email sent over. So this is perfect for us to use for our automation moving forward. So make sure to save your workflow before we continue. So click save. All right, and once that is done, we're gonna move on to the next step, which is to get all the information from the URL. Right, so we're gonna create a HTTP module, and we're gonna click get a file. Okay, over here, we're going to click into URL and we're going to select the URL. And this allows us to get the information from the URL of our prospects. Okay, once this is done, next thing we want to do is to have a text parser to be able to pass all this information so we can use GPT and Claude to create content for us later on. We're going to click text parser and we're going to choose HTML to text. Right, we're going to select this and we're going to select data from the HTTP module and click OK. All right, very straightforward, very easy. Awesome. And we're done. Make sure to save it. And so these first 3 steps is enough for us to get all the raw information from our prospects. The next step we're going to do is we're going to use AI to help us create email outreach content as well as to create AI images for us using Flux. In this example, we're just going to use a mixture of GPT and Claude to help us out very quickly. Right, the first thing I want to have from the web page is a business overview for me to understand what the company is doing. Right, so I'm going to search for create a completion and we see over here OpenAI and I'm going to click into this and this is where I can create my prompt. And we're going to choose the latest model GPT-4o, right? And from here, we're going to add in the message and we're going to click the role as user and the message content. What we're going to do for this message content is to create a business overview, right? We're going to ask you to help us to create a 50-word summary about this business, their vibe, and what they are about. You're going to give it the information for it to understand what it needs to do. So we're going to add in the text from the text parser to give it the business information. Right, once this is done, we're going to click 0 for max token so that we can keep it at default mode. Now, before we continue, you need to have a developer account to connect your API from ChatGPT to be used in Make. You just need to go into platform.openai and you just need to go into API keys, create a new secret key, copy it over, and follow the steps to be able to connect to Make platform. So back to the automation, we're just going to change this to business overview writer, and this allows us to know what this GPT is used for. Once it's done, we're going to run once again just to see how it works. So back to the web page that we have. Same thing here, we're going to click send and moving back to our automation, you can see it has worked perfectly. Right, it has gotten the information from the web page. Right, it has converted it into HTML data. It's managed to parse it and change it all to text. And we managed to have a business overview. You can see it's telling us that it's a company that specializes in waterproofing, roofing, repair and maintenance. And that's perfect. Now moving forward, just to showcase, we don't only have to use GPT, we can also use Claude, which is also a very powerful AI model today. So next thing for a good email outreach is to create pain points and solutions for this company, right? You want to be able to personalize your emails to the client's problems and solve it for them. Of course, similarly, you want to go to console.anthropic.com, create a developer account, right? Get your API over here under API keys, and then connect it over to Make. And how we're going to do so is we're going to search for Claude, and we're going to click create a prompt, and make sure this front part is connected to your API, right? Once this is done, we're just going to set the max token to 4,000 first, okay? And we're going to give it a prompt. So we're going to add message, we're going to click role, user, we're going to add in the content, and the type will be text. Okay, and here we're going to add in the prompt. So previously, I've actually created a very long prompt for all of these examples. So once again, click the link in the description for all the resources so you can just copy and paste and modify it to your own specific use cases. And so I've pasted it over. Right, I'm going to change this over to the text from the text parser. Okay, so very simply, you can see what I want it to do is, as an AI consultant, I want it to analyze the information from the client. And from there, I give it instructions. I want it to identify a specific content-related challenges, right, propose a tailored AI solution to address these challenges, right, mention a concrete and achievable benefit, and craft a concise, empathetic one-sentence summary for each email outreach. But this is because I'm reaching out to them as an AI company to tell them how we can actually use AI to help with their business, right? And so I give it other examples such as telling it the summary should acknowledge a specific observed challenge, right? And suggest a precise personalized AI-driven solution, mention a tangible benefits. Last but not least, to make it even more effective in this prompt, I also gave it example outputs, right? On what I think is good outputs that Claude can reference to create similar content for us, okay? And we're going to click OK and click Save. OK. And once that's done, we're going to rename this to our pain point and solution creator. Awesome. So next thing I want to do is to add in a company name tracker and a company industry tracker for it to just script these two information and add into our Airtable later on for easy management purposes. So how I'm going to do that is to add in another Claude module. And similarly, I'm going to add 4,000 tokens. Where I'm going to add message, role, user, very quickly adding content, type text. And I'm going to add in the text. And for this, I want the name of the company. I'm going to give it a simple prompt. Based on the text content, identify the company name and return it. Right, I give it an example as well and return only the company name. Click OK. Rename this as company name tracker. OK. And very quickly add in another one. Claude, create a prompt, max token, 4,000. Right, add in the role, user, content. We're going to select text. We're going to add in this one for the industry tracker, identify the company's industry and return it. Example output, dental. Return only the industry in this output and nothing else. Right, change the name to company industry tracker, and we're done. Click save, and here we have it. And once again, we're going to click run once and see where we are at now at this current workflow. So click run once, go back to the same web page, okay, send it over again and come back to our workflow, let it process. Okay, and once that is done, you can see over here in the next 3 modules that we have created, the first one has created a output for us. The pain point creator has told us the pain points that the company has, right, such as your roof repair lacks interaction elements, and where our AI-powered virtual roof inspection tool could help engage visitors and help pre-qualify leads. Right, so super cool. But of course, this is general, right? We might not be providing AI-powered virtual roof inspections. You should further give it information about what your company does so that you can customize the outreach and solutions based on what you provide. Okay? And moving forward, you can also see over here, we do have the text response, which is the company's name. Right, and this is important and useful for us to create our AI image later on, and you will understand why. Okay, and we also have the industry, which is waterproofing. So perfect, wonderful. Okay, once we have this, we're going to move on to the next stage. And so we've gotten most of the written content required and information for us to create a perfect email. But the most unique thing we want to do for today's video is to create a personalized email outreach with a customized image of us reaching out to them, right? And here's where we're going to connect it to the Flux API. And so for this, the Flux API is a little bit more complicated because we do need to connect it to Replicate for us to use it directly. So what I've done for this is that instead of just using normal prompts, I've actually created an AI assistant to create the prompts in the specific format for us. And you can see over here, what an assistant does is that instead of having to prompt it on make, we're able to create a preset prompt in our GPT itself so that it functions under this instruction wherever it goes. So you can see over here, I've given it certain roles, right? Like writing a professional prompt, right? I give it a task to create high quality outreach images. I also ask it to create prompts using my face, which I name it Itzakiao in my model. So all this have been covered in my previous video on how to create an AI selfie with Flux. So make sure to check that out before you continue this video to make sure you understand what's going on. All right. You see over here, it's provided a JSON output, and this is super important because this is what we need to connect it to Flux to make sure it gets the information that we want. Okay, what's interesting is I also told it the prompt, which is mainly to create a photo of myself, right, in a professional outfit of the client's industry. For example, if we're reaching out to a construction industry this time, to be wearing a construction suit, right? That might be cool and exciting and more personalized to them. Looking at a camera, right, in the background of their construction site or something related to their business, and holding up a sign with their company name, with our company name as well. And how I did that is also to tell the GPT to replace the outfit with the client's industry, background description, and company's name with the appropriate and relevant information based on the client's information and content given. I give it specific context and examples as well, once again, to make sure the AI understands how to create the best output for us. Similarly here, if you want to learn how to create effective prompts with GPT, you can check out my other video link in the description on how to create effective prompts to create your own custom GPT for all use cases. Okay, once this is done, we're going to go back to our Make platform. We're going to find OpenAI once again. We're going to click Message and Assistant this time. Okay, and we're going to search for our prompt creator. We're going to click Assistant, Flux JSON Outreach Image Prompter, right? That's what we created. And we're going to give it a prompt as well. So besides the pre-built prompts, it needs to understand the context of what's going on in this automation. And so here are some information that I would love to give it. Firstly, the company URL, which is from here, which is the URL from the webhook. The company's text content, which is from the text parser. The company's name, which is from the company name tracker. The company industry, right? So this is important for us to create custom background for the image. And additionally, I make sure to re-emphasize that the output needs to be JSON so that we can actually process it properly through Flux. And we're going to click OK and we're done. Now we're going to change this to the Flux JSON Outreach Image Prompter. Awesome. Now once this is done, we're going to click Save once again. Make sure to always save so that your work don't get lost in the process. Now we're going to connect it to Flux. Right, and how we're going to connect it to Replicate is to create a HTTP module, and we're going to click Make a Request. And over here, I'm just going to copy over all the information that I've previously found from Flux. Firstly, the URL is the api.replicate predictions URL, and the method will be post. And over here, we're going to add in the authorization, which is the API from Replicate. You should have an API key from Replicate by now. Once again, from the previous video, you should know what to do from here. So similarly, we're going to copy it over. We can add in the value, which is Barrel and the API key from our Replicate account. If you forgot where to find it, you can just go to Dashboard, right, you go into API tokens, and that's where you can find your API keys. And now moving back to this, we're just gonna finish up with body type raw, content type JSON, request content will be the result, which is the prompt that we have created earlier on. And make sure to pass the response, yes, and click OK, awesome. We're just gonna run once to see what happens. Similarly, let's go back to the web page, make sure to copy the email link, and send it over once again. And let's see what happens. So make sure your model on Hugging Face is actually made public so they can use it to generate your AI images. Okay, once this is done, we should go back to replicate and we should be seeing our model being run. Right, you can see over here it's running. So let's click into the ID and see what we get. Give it a while and let's see what happens. And awesome, you can see over here it's created 4 different images of myself. Right, it's very interesting with the name of the company that we are reaching out to, which is Proof Tech. And this can be used to create very interesting customized outreach to make our clients curious and open up their emails for us. Awesome. Now once it's done, we're going to complete the workflow, right, by making sure that we can get all this URL into our Airtable as well, so we don't have to go back to replicate. Right, so next thing we're going to do is to add in a sleep module. This allows replicate to have enough time to generate the images before our automation take the URL. If not, it will not work. So we're going to add in 80 seconds, okay, and we're going to click OK. And we're going to add in another module, HTTP. We're going to call it make a request once again, and the URL this time will be the URL over here and get, and the method will be get. We can add in the first header, which is once again authorization, and the value will be our API key. Okay, the next thing we're going to add in is another item, which is the content type. The value would be application/JSON. Okay, and we're going to add in the bottom as well, body type raw, content type JSON, and pass response, yes, okay. And we're going to click run once again to make sure we get all the modules run perfectly. Same thing, go back and copy this and send. Okay, and once it's done, we have all the information we need for our email. So we're going to move on to creating an Airtable for us to look through and approve them. We're going to create a new base, and these are the things that we want to have in our Airtable. But the first thing we want to have is to have the URL, right? So the URL link, then we're going to have a company tab, which is also a single line text. Okay, make sure to create beside that. And the next one is the company pain point and solution, which is a long text. The industry, which is a single line text again. The business description, long text, right? The email, single line text. Status, which we want to have denied, in progress, and approved. And the last two, which is important for us to automate our workflow. Firstly is created time under the selection created time. And lastly, last modified time under the field type last modified time. Okay. Once you have this, make sure to connect your API to Make Platform, right? Make sure to click integrations, third-party integrations, connect it to Make, and make sure that your base is approved. Okay, once it's done, moving back to Make, we're going to add in the Airtable module, and we're going to search for create a record. We're going to click our base, which is the Flux email generator. We're going to select table 1, and this is where we're just going to link in all the different information we've gotten earlier on, right? So the URL is the URL from webhook. The company name would be from our company name tracker. Company pain point and solution will be from our pain point and solution creator. Awesome. The industry would be from our company industry tracker. Business description from the business description GPT. We have the email, which is the selected text from the webhook, right? And the image URL, which is from here, the last HTTP module, URLs, output, and 1. Over here, as you know, we have created 4 different images, right? So we can vet through and decide which is the best for us to send to our prospect. So we're going to name this one and click OK. And we're just going to duplicate this 4 more times. So we're going to clone this once, pull it over, clone once, pull it over, clone once, pull it over. Right, this is for the 4 images that we have created earlier on. So over here, we're going to change this data output to, okay. The next one, data output 3, okay, and the last one, data output 4, okay. And let's click save once again, and this time let's run one last time in this specific scenario, and we will see all of this consolidated into our Airtable real quick. So run once and send over the data again. All right, okay, and once this is done, you can see it has updated our Airtable. So let's move back. You can see over here it's updated 4 different new content, right? You can see over here, if you click the image URL, you get the different images. So you can see over here, the reason why we have 4 is that not all of them are perfect. So the first one, it's not the image that we want. The second one, yeah, it's a lot closer. Proof Tech X Dynamic AI, not bad. What about the third one? Okay, this is something a little bit better, right? And the fourth one could be a better one. Yeah, this could be cool. Proof tag X Dynamic AI, right? The name is a little bit clearer and it's cooler, right? And so maybe I like the fourth one the best, and that's something that we'll approve later on. So well done if you have actually came all the way here. We just have one last thing to do, which is to automate it to our email and create custom emails for our clients, right? So we're gonna do that by creating a new scenario. So let's save this first, okay? And we create a new scenario right under our Flux email folder. I'm gonna call this Flux email generator 2 out of 2. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do over here once again is to create an Airtable module, and we're gonna click watch records. We're gonna look for our base, which is the Flux email generator. The table will be table 1, and the trigger field will be last modified time. The label field will be status, and we're gonna click OK from now on. Awesome. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is to get a file from our image generator. So we're gonna create a module, HTTP module, get a file, and we're gonna click URL, which would be the image URL. Okay, and that's good. Right, so we're gonna add in a filter as well and make sure that we only get the files of the ones that we have approved. So we're gonna call this the approval man, and we're gonna click status and text operator contain case insensitive approved. Done. All right, our filter is done, and we're gonna have the final module, which is to connect it to Gmail. Okay, so we're gonna find the Gmail module and we're gonna create a draft, right? We don't want to be sending it out until we approve it. Okay, and we're gonna choose our folder, which is drafts, right? And the recipient, right? This is where we have the email from Airtable. So we're gonna click the recipient as the email over here. And the subject is, right, let's say a simple fun subject that I thought would be cool is this AI has their company name on it literally, right? This could be a simple email outreach. And I'm gonna put in the company name, right? So this could be a fun one. You could customize this to however you like as well, but we use this for this example. Okay, for the content, right, what I've done previously is to create a HTML format that I like for this specific email, but you can change it accordingly in whatever method you like. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it over first, and I'm just gonna run you through on how this works. You're gonna change this to the image URL. You're gonna change this to the company's pain point and solution, and lastly the company's name. Okay, so how does this HTML work, and how can you actually modify it to your own specific use cases, right? You can use a simple HTML editor online to help you see how this works. Right, I'm gonna paste my HTML code here. You can see what's there. Over here, this is a simple email template that I've created that I think would be good. I start off the email with, hey there, bet you didn't expect this in your inbox today. Figure I'd try something different, and I think we can make something great happen. And then I attach my AI image over here, and I add in the company pain point and solution that has been created by our GPT earlier on. And lastly, to end off with a call to action for a company's name. And so if you want HTML to change to the way that you like, you can copy the one that I've given you, right? You can change all this, such as changing it to your company's name, which could be, let's say, AI Tech Innovators, right? You can change it to a different name like John. You can also call yourself AI Specialist, and so on and so forth. So you can change the different content over here, right on the right side, and over here on the left, it will change for you the HTML. And once this is done, you can copy this over again, and you can send it back to the automation workflow to get the email that you want, right? So super versatile and super easy to do. So change it accordingly to however you like it. And once you're happy with it, continue with the automation. Okay, so now moving back to the automation, let's say we love the fourth content we have gotten. We're gonna change this status to approve. All right, we're gonna go back to make sure to click save, and we're gonna run this once and see what happens. Awesome, it's done perfectly. So let's go back to our email and let's see the drafts and see we've gotten a new one. So super cool. Right, you can see this email over here. It does have the title that we have created with the company's name, and we do have the email content that we formatted and the image that we have sent to them, and the pain point solution that I've talked about, our call to action, as well as the format that I wanted. And so there you have your own customized AI email machine that allows you to send personalized emails like this endlessly just by sending over the information from your client's URL. And so thank you for staying to the end. If you like videos like this, do give it a like and subscribe, as I do have many other AI tutorials and workflows that you can use today to elevate your business and your own personal use cases. Till then, I appreciate you for staying to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.